What's up, Ferrall fans? Mafia back here with you again for the third day in a row, talking about big things going on in the world of sports. This guy's out on vacation along with Carver High. Not together, but both on vacation at the same time. You know what I mean. For me, the big thing going on right now, of course, is basketball. It's that time of year that basketball takes center stage between the NCAAs, where teams are on that bubble trying to get into that tournament, where the good teams are trying to set up their seeds, get that 1 seed, that 2 seed, play a little closer to home. You got a lot of big upsets tonight in college basketball, some great games. Syracuse pulling off the win against Duke with the last-second three. You had Oregon coming back big to hit the last-second three to win. You had Maryland getting upset. You had Butler beating Villanova for the second time, this time on the road. So a lot of great things going on in college basketball. But for me, the bigger thing right now is the NBA trade deadline coming up tomorrow. Now, of course, we already had DeMarcus Cousins get moved from the Kings to the Pelicans earlier in the week. We had some little trades going on today, like Ilyasova got moved from Philadelphia. Of course, that's not the one everyone's been talking about. Everyone's been talking about Okafor being gone from there, or Noel. Still haven't had that move. We'll see what happens as the day goes on with those. If the Bulls, who are interested in Okafor, end up getting him or not. But to me, the biggest ones that might be moved are Paul George and Jimmy Butler, and they might be moved to the same team. It's kind of if one or the other type of situation, I think. Because some of the other ones, I mean, there was talk about maybe Blake Griffin earlier, in the season getting moved. He's back and healthy. Yeah, Chris Paul coming back soon. I think they have a good chance to win with that team. They're not going to make that move. You're not going to get Carmelo moving. There has been no talk for the last week about it. He's got the no trade. He's not going anywhere. Even if it's just the fact to stick it to Phil and say, I win. I'm not leaving New York. Your turn to get out of here. Other ones, not many big names that are being moved. Of course, you had Lou Williams get moved from the Lakers the other day. People talking about Patrick Beverly. Maybe Derrick Rose going back to play with Tibbs again. Those deals don't really matter to me. The big ones that I think might happen and are most likely to happen are Jimmy Buckets and Paul George, PG13. And both of them being rumored to the same team, the Boston Celtics. Now, I think it's a one or the other situation, obviously, with Boston. Although with all the options that they have as far as draft picks and players, probably could pull off both, but I don't think they will. I think they're going to make one of those trades, and that's it. They want to make that push to make it a tough competitive East and maybe challenge the Celtics, especially if Kevin Love can't stay healthy coming down the playoffs. So I think they're going to make a move. I think finally, after all these years, we've heard about the Celtics possibly getting in on this guy or that guy, all the options they have with all these draft picks, all these young players. I think they're finally going to do a deal tomorrow. And if I'm them, and if it's Jimmy Butler or Paul George, I'm going Paul George. Now, I know they got Jay Crowder, who's been great for them at small forward for the year so far. And if you're trading for Paul George, you're probably including him in the deal. Kind of stinks. I like him as a player. I like watching him play. He's got great intensity, but Paul George is going to be a huge upgrade if they do get him, and that's the deal I want. Jimmy Butler is a great scorer, but I don't think he's a great teammate. We saw the trouble he caused in the locker room this year with him and Dwayne Wade going against all the younger guys and calling them out. And then you had the fact that Rajon Rondo comes out and is kind of the voice of reason and is kind of the more mature player coming out and defending the young guys. I mean, when Rajon Rondo has the high ground on you, you're in bad shape. And that team's in bad shape. I think any moves they're going to make is to dump salary, dump players, and try to rebuild, try to get rid of some of these big guys, maybe even get rid of Wade. If I'm them, I do. If you get a pick, maybe a younger player, why not trade him to a contender? Because I don't think he's coming back either. I think he regrets going home. But, of course, the big one, like I said, will be Jimmy Buckets and trying to move him and getting a big haul for him. I mean, the guy is in the prime of his career. The guy can score. The guy's under contract for a couple of years. He's going to be attractive to some teams, but you have to worry about how he's going to fit in chemistry-wise. As far as that Celtics team, how well they play together, how tough they play together, I don't think he's the right fit. I think he's more of a me player. I haven't seen him yet come into a role where he can be part of a team and fit in with a team. I think he wants the team to be about him. And if you're going to Boston, it ain't about you. It's about Isaiah, and that's it. Paul George, I think, is much better at fitting into a team. We've seen the way that he's played with the Olympic team, how he's come out and said that it's not about the money, how it's about winning for him now. He wants to win. He's tired of being on a losing team. Now, both these guys, him and Butler, are around the same age. Butler's actually a year older. And Paul George makes a little more money. But I think him at small forward is a lot better fit for Boston than putting Jimmy Buckets there at shooting guard. I think he'll be more apt to fit into the offense. And I think if you put him and Isaiah and Horford together, that's a pretty tough team. I mean, everyone talks about the Wizards and how great they're playing with Porter and Beal and John Wall. I think that three would be right up there with them. And I think it would be a great challenge for them. And if Kevin Love can't stay healthy, it might even be a decent challenge for the Cavaliers. Because Paul George and LeBron James have had their battles. And LeBron's going to get his points. You're not going to stop him. But Paul George does a better job against him than most. I'm not going to say he stops him because he doesn't. People have brought that up over the years and I've shot that down. But he does play better against him. And I think him playing against LeBron brings out the best in Paul George a lot of times. They go back and forth. I think him and Isaiah can match up well against Kyrie and LeBron. And then if Love's not there and you're relying on Channing Frye and some of these other guys to play big minutes at power forward, I think Al Horford can do some good damage there. And I think that would be a great series. I don't know if they'll win it, but they'll at least go to 6 or 7. And then you're building for the future between those three guys and the draft picks that you have and some of the other players you have, like Avery Bradley or Marcus Smart, depending on who you keep and who you get rid of. I think that would be a great fit. And I'm really hoping that Paul George gets traded to Boston, that Larry Bird sends his current player back to his former team and does his old boys up in Beantown a little favor and gives them PG13 and gets some picks and maybe Jay Crowder and some other pieces to rebuild that franchise in the process. I think that'd be a great trade for both sides, and I hope it happens. So if I'm the Celtics and it's Jimmy Butler or it's PG13 getting about the same price for either one, I'm taking Paul George in a heartbeat. And I hope Boston does too. I'll see you guys tomorrow night. We'll see who actually goes in the trade deadline. We'll talk about the moves that are made and what teams made themselves contenders by pulling some strings.